Hello. This is a Chill Maths live stream. I'm going on the internet over twitch.tv/James Munro. It's my Sunday stream. We do something a little bit different to other stuff I do for work. Good, right. Hi. I think I'm live, but I find Twitch so confusing sometimes. Here's my plan. I'm just jumping on the stream to start planning something I'm doing in Minecraft. A couple of weeks ago, we built a tiny bit of a Manga sponge. The joke with building a Manga sponge is that you're only ever 5% done, because as soon as you've placed the last block, you think you're finished, you realise that you want to do 19 more of them in a Manga sponge arrangement. So you're really only 5% done, even when you're done. Hi, Mountain Ash in chat, then hi to Herb. Herb says they're missing this one, so I don't think they can see the stream, but whatever. Again, Twitch. I don't understand. Hi, Larry. Hope you're well. Right. So this rather uninspiring diagram is kind of what I'm trying to build. And I've got a kind of concept, but before I start building it with the blocks, I wanted to check it made sense. Right. Good luck with astrophysics. Oh, that sounds fun. What do you have to do in astrophysics? I've never done an astrophysics exam. I imagine it's like planning your journey to space, orbits of stars, and making sure that nothing falls in a black hole. I don't know. Oh, it's not good. Okay, that's a shame. Is this like No, I think someone I knew did a GCSE in some sort of astro stuff, or Kepler's law. There are black holes, that's good. Okay, you can learn that. Life cycle of a star, I'm sure. Okay. Life cycle of a star. You do some some facts. You can learn some facts. Right, okay. So, viewers who have seen this before know that I'm trying to put together a Mega sponge in Minecraft, but with a bit of a cosmic horror kind of angle of I'm hollowing out a mountain, and I want it to be so that you come in through a kind of Mega sponge entrance, and then there's a big opening on the inside. Oh my goodness, it's enormous. Because that lets me cheat a little bit. So I guess my plan is that you go through some Manga sponge stuff. This is top-down view. This is the stream. We're planning a Manga sponge kind of experience. You go in through here, top-down. There's like a Manga sponge that you walk through. And then maybe there's another one, because we'll get to this, but I should have started a bit closer to the mountain. Maybe there's another one. I need to work out if that makes sense for there to be another one the same size. I think it probably makes sense. And then at some point I would like a huge void, and I'm not really sure how big the void is or where the void is, and I think if I get this wrong then it won't actually make sense as a Manga sponge sort of thing. So let me think. So Manga sponge does sometimes have two gaps the same size next to each other, because this could be part of something larger. I think I'm fine so long as I'm fine with there being bits of Manga sponge missing. I just don't want to put bits of Manga sponge where there should be holes. So you see, I think is going on is that there should be a third Manga sponge of the same size, but that's not really what I want. I want to go through this one and then through this one, and then you kind of get into the hollowed out mountain at some point quite soon. That's kind of like a boundary of hollowed out mountain. I quite like a big void there. So maybe, what's my way around this? And maybe it's not these two that you go through, but maybe the pattern that you've got is actually larger. So let's put in this kind of level 3 stuff. So my plan is that what I would like is for you to hit a kind of larger gap next. Can I achieve that? I think I can. So let's put in some level 4 structure. Try. Oh, Myro is going to enjoy this, isn't it? Speed it loaded, that made me think I might be being a bit silly here. If I group it, is that faster? this stream is also a good way for me to test what I can do with Miro. Is it happy with that, or it's not that happy with that? I should just build this thing in Miro. This is way better. Look, it's sort of become unhappy with me lining stuff up. I don't know if you can see that home, but the kind of loading animation of as it drops the thing in. That's great. I'm enjoying that a lot. Okay. This is the sort of bit that I wanted. Right. Because before I would have said, oh, you come in here and you see Mengasponge, another equal sized one. You think you're in a kind of corridor, and then it doesn't open up. There's a third, fourth, fifth, sixth, or ninth or something. Yeah, I could switch to a screenshot at some point. But what I've realised is that instead I could sort of set it up so that you imagine that you're coming in over here instead. And then you see 1, 2, and then a larger void. I think I can get away with... no, so I can't have this huge void. Can I? So this huge void is actually bounded... When you meet a huge void, it's not the case that there's just 2 before. That's kind of true. So if I want us to come across some sort of... I think most of what happens is it just makes my computer run slower. So if I want us to come through into this kind of void up here and view around the edges all of this stuff. So what would that be? This bit is, the size of that is only 9 blocks. Yeah, so I've got 18. So there's only a 27 by 27 void. I kind of want the next one up. It's a bit greedy, but I kind of want the as you come into the mountain, Hollowjack Mountain, I kind of want that to be 81 instead of 9 blocks wide. I've got a plan here down here where it can be. So if these are Minecraft blocks for the grey squares, I've got a plan where this is kind of 9 wide, and then I could come through and see this thing which is 9 wide. Just a bit like it's 3 times larger than the courtyard you were just in on the way through. So as you come in. So maybe I only built this bit. That's what I've done. How much have I built already? I think I've built more than this. Because I've built some stacks that are themselves 9 by 9. I think I've built kind of this. I'm planning to have another one. So this kind of thing would be good enough. Yeah, okay. Translate all the purple blocks. I'm kind of trying to work out what am I doing? What am I doing? I want my building to make sense as a subset of a Mengasponge. And instead of thinking about powers of 3 and stuff and doing all the coordinates one by one, I'm just going to draw a big Mengasponge and sketch over the top what I'm trying to achieve. Okay, so tunnel Mengasponge, courtyard Mengasponge would be another lot of this on the outside. It does work. Okay. Yeah, so previously on the stream you've seen me build kind of this tower. We're looking straight down on it. And the kind of parallel one over here, another tower here. Since then I've decided to build this one as well, and the back one. So that's all right. Then I just build another one in front of it, and then I'm allowed to have, you go through the second one and it comes out on this size of gap. Can I make that gap arbitrary? Arbitrary in size. At the moment it's looking like it's just 27 wide. Is there anything to stop me from saying you come through 2 of these 27 by 27 squares? I'm trying to track how the repeating pattern fits in with itself, which is harder than I thought. 2 of these 27 by 27 squares. I suppose I could look at one bit of the Manga Sponge as a kind of map of everything. That's a bit crazy. Because it's self-similar. Instead of building a bigger and bigger map, I can just, and zooming out, I can just zoom in. That's a bit silly. Yeah, okay. Here's a map of what's going on. Previously on the stream, you've seen me build a thing that's a bit like this, representing the entire tower, and a bit like this, representing the entire tower. Or have you seen me build? Yeah, okay. Maybe you've seen me build this block. It was enormous. I'm going to start somewhere in the middle, I think. I'm trying to find a subset that... The thing I want is a kind of tunnel of smallish Manga Sponge and then a huge void. So I'm looking around the picture of the Manga Sponge, looking for places where there's a huge void and two smaller Manga Sponge bits in front of it. Because I know I can't have it... there's some ways that don't work, right? I can't have it as I had to build a Manga Sponge block here, build a Manga Sponge block here, and then a huge void lined up with that, because, well, that one should have been a void as well on the map. The first one shouldn't be there. So I can't go that size of Manga Sponge, that size of Manga Sponge, and then, oh my goodness, huge void. It'll be dramatic and exciting, but it should be offset. These ones should be over here. These ones should be over here, and it should be off to one side. So that's kind of cool. But even better would be if I think of the ones I've already built as this and this as just some tiny part of an enormous superstructure, and then 9, and then that'll be 81 blocks, which I think is the most I can hope for kind of scale bar of an 81 block sized void, which is not that big. But then you put lots of Manga Sponge stuff around it, where each of these will be 9 of them along the wall, each of which is the size of the thing that you just walled through and marveled at. Maybe that's too much project, but sounds about right. So what would this mean then? This would mean on one side you'd have a kind of facade of 27 blocks, and on the other, 5 9's 45. 27 over here. If each small grey square is a 9 block. The fractal nature is amazing. The way that you can just, I've got 2 bits of Manga Sponge planned already, and I can just decide what scale they are relative to this void that I'm trying to place, which just means I need to make sure that this bit. So, for example, we'll go and jump in Minecraft in a second, but there's this like bit of water at the front, and some trees. And I've decided that the scale bar for this is that's the 2 grey squares, and then there'll be a huge void that's 9 times bigger than that structure. Where each one is built out of 4 little towers with a thing on top, of which I have built so far just the front 2 towers. But this is the thing about doing a huge void on the inside. The void is going to imply like 400 times more. The void is going to imply that all of the rest of this is here, in some sense. And then I guess we'll have to imagine why the rest of this stuff around this side isn't there, and it's instead just like water and spruce trees and stuff. I think that's the plan. I need to hollow it out, but slightly asymmetric. So you come through these 2 pink squares and then realise, oh no, enormous void. Next question, how high up is this? I'd quite like it if you come up near the top of the void shape thing, but I'm not sure. I think I can just make it so you're very near the top. No, not very near the top, because Manga Sponge doesn't have a gap in the top. Oh, this is fine. This is a slice through. It affects how deep it is. So if I'm thinking 3D, then this is a slice through the middle, and I can decide where my Manga Sponge is vertically as well. Because this structure that I've drawn is repeated at different heights in the kind of Manga Sponge mess. So time to think about how far up it is repeated. I guess this is an 81 by 81 by 81 cube, the void in the middle. And how much head height does it need? It's got a ceiling. This pattern appears quite near the top. If you take a slice through just before you put on the top set of blocks. So, gosh, using the same diagram, but now this way is up. For a bit of diagram over here, you come in, and I think you come in. I think you come in here in the middle. No, you're off to one side. So I think you come in like here. Oh, Mountain Ash, do you know about programming stuff to do things in MegaSponge? I think most people who make MegaSponges do them in creative mode and do them with some sort of command block stuff. Part of the gimmick here is that I handcrafted MegaSponge. You can imagine testing it out, right? Is there sort of clone commands? I've never done any of that sort of cloning world editor kind of stuff. I do it there. Yeah, there's just blocks everywhere, aren't there? In front of this, so in front of this huge cube, there is a network of stuff. You've come in just in front of this one. So just make sure that the ceiling is the same height as this, and put the ceiling at the ceiling. Yeah, so there was that April Fool's snapshot version that has MegaSponges in it. You got to play the game. I was a bit surprised. I thought I could just boot up the April Fool's snapshot and it would show me a MegaSponge, but no, it shows you Minecraft. Then you got to play Minecraft. It's really funny, and it is good. I was surprised I had to read the docs, and then sort of like you have to make a special sort of portal, and then go through the portal and get lucky, or throw a book in the portal first, and then you can transport through. So Minecraft has sponges in at some point as well. Okay, so yeah, pink square to show where we are. So you are sort of here looking down on, oh no, below me there is so much drop. Good, okay, I think that's a solid plan. Do I want to build this in creative or something? Not really. I kind of want to just do it and then fix it if I do it wrong. Fixing things in Minecraft is the worst though. Fixing things is almost impossible. You know, measure twice, mine once. What do they say? When you've got your like maths diagram in your office whiteboard software to get your... It's what you need, isn't it? You need your office software for flowcharts and planning. You need your maths diagram of a fractal, and you need a sort of plan for a video game, and you just put all that together, and that's a stream. I think I can give it a go, because to be honest, building these two squares out the front is going to be enough work for the stream, and then deciding where the big holes should go is to be honest a different challenge. Right, okay, let's jump in and see if we can put together two pink squares, and then see if that kind of leads to the right bit of mountain at least. If it turns out I need a third, then this one is also a pink square that's kind of part of something we build. And the water was over here. And then it actually makes more sense. Might do a third. Third and then a big one. I'm going to do some counting. Right, okay, how do I do this? I think I press... I think I remove that. Press that. Remove that. And then boot this up. Waiting on install. Good times. Right. So it's the only Chill Maths live stream that also features attempts to play video games on Twitch. We do our best. Right. Okay, we're back in. There we go. So hopefully we get loads of loads of stone blocks. We discussed this on the stream before, I think, that the really only thing to build your Mega Sponge out of, other than Sponge, which is really hard to access, the only thing is loads and loads and loads of stone bricks. So just grab lots of those. That'll probably do. Yeah, okay, then you can just go out and start trying to put your Mega Sponge together. So I think last time on the stream, you saw these two out the front. And since then, I've put together these two behind. So all in the trees, but there's a third one here coming out of the ground, and a fourth one over there, past this tree. So I've got 4 of these now. Oh, I'm missing the top corner on that one, but missing the top corner and then 4. So I think the plan is to put the top ring on this first one, and then we'll have built the first pink square in that diagram from before. Right, what is the right way to do this? I think probably this. So we'll just get up there, see what happens. Okay, any advice in chat, do let me know. More of a math streamer than a video game streamer, so I think when we did this before it was sort of hilariously bad. Right, good, okay. And there you go, there's your Mega Sponge. Oh no, this is the start of the next layer, isn't it? Start of the next layer, because there was one here and then the second one. I'd forgotten I'd done this. It's a bit higher than that one. Good, so we're off and away with the top bit. Oh yeah, I had this stack of dirt. Good times. What am I doing? Put a ring. Oh no, it's got a counting challenge now. So we have the bottom ring and then 4 pillars and then the top ring. And then we've started the bottom ring of this one. So it's time for 4 pillars, where a pillar is made of Mega Sponge. Like this. The thing that is really difficult when you're putting together a Mega Sponge is just keep track of which layer you're on, or which sort of concept you're trying to... What scale of Mega Sponge am I currently working on? There's something about it that just doesn't sit right with my brain, but here we are. Yeah, I think I want a couple of these, and then one over here as well. Now you've got to remember to do the thing I always forget is the ring at the bottom of the smallest level that I'm building. It's quite tempting to sort of go over there and just put four pillars down, because I'm working on pillars, but a pillar is made of Mega Sponge, and the Mega Sponge has this kind of ring of eight at the bottom. So 8 plus 4 plus 8 is how I like to think about it. But you have to remember to do the 8 as well, otherwise things stop lining up. Good, okay. So that was that was the 8 at the top of this one, which gives me the 4th one of this level of 4 pillars. Time to put 8 of that size on top, and then that'll be 1 of 8 or something. Right, so it's time to do 8, then 7 more of yeah. There's possibly a way to keep track of this on some sort of tally chart with base 8 to keep track of how you've done sort of 8 of 1 and time to carry over and do the next level up. Though now I think about it, it's more like 20, isn't it, than 8. I see Mountain Ash in chat has told me there's something called scaffolding, which, oh gosh, I think I have heard of. It's the Minecraft thing that lets you move up and down. What should you think about that? I imagine they've noticed my enormous pile of dirt and now stack of planks. They've probably got advice about how to do this sort of thing as well. Because what I really want to do is build another one here, which is a bit precarious. You know, I'm always saying don't try. I don't think I'm a role model when it comes to video games, so that's all right. I don't think anyone's going to try and sort of copy my terrible video game practices. That'll be okay. And with maths, I have to worry a bit about whether, you know, if I do something sloppy in mathematics, then people might think that's okay. But if I do something sloppy in Minecraft, like failing to follow any sort of building safety, then I don't think anyone's going to copy me. I know I appear in real life as well. It doesn't help. It's part of that like immersive gameplay, but that's what we all want. Right, okay. I think really what's happening is that I'm doing Minecraft that I would normally be doing, but incredibly self-consciously. So I'll try and there's the first misclick of the day. Try to be efficient at least. Right, okay, round here we go. 8 of those and 4. And then 8. There's perhaps a better way of counting it. I don't know. Definitely a less precarious way of doing this bit. Everyone in the chat says, haha, yeah, let me quickly check. Stack of planks worried me a bit. Yeah, would be. Ooh. The only way for me to check chat at the moment is to sort of pause Minecraft and also close Minecraft a bit, which doesn't feel great. Just to see that it's everyone being upset about my use of a stack of planks. Oh. Welcome back to Gen Z Roasts. James plays Minecraft. Right, good. How do I make scaffolding? Is it a sort of thing where you need to like go to the Nether and defeat the Queen Bee and then come back and use the anti-venom from the Queen Bee hive to mutate the Ender Dragon, and then you're allowed to have some scaffolding? Which is the sort of thing where you put 6 sticks together. It's the sort of thing where you put 6 sticks together, isn't it? It's the sort of thing I should definitely be doing. Okay, we're getting to the top of this level of the Mega Sponge, which is not too bad. Good, okay, we've put a Mega Sponge on top of a Mega Sponge. Good, okay, how do I get down? Where's my stack of planks? It was over here somewhere, wasn't it? Of course, my stack of planks is now nowhere near tall enough. I reckon I can land that. Stick the landing. Stop the landing. Perfect. Scaffolding. Right, okay, let's go home because it's dark. Scaffolding. Hi, Neutrino, we're doing Minecraft because we've got to build some Mega Sponges. We did a little bit of planning. We did a tiny bit of thinking about Powers of 20 and Mod 3, making this a math stream. Chill maths. And you can only sleep at night or during thunderstorms. So that's fun. Felt like night. I think scaredy cat. Should I be building Mega Sponges out in this? I don't know. Let's top up on rocks. Ah, nearly there. Oh, yeah, my rocks are almost finished. Oh, lovely. And chat was telling me about scaffolding, so I'm gonna do that. What on earth is that? That's a calibrated skulk sensor, obviously. Yeah, showing all. Okay. Bamboo is the thing I haven't found yet. I haven't done a lot of exploring. Really only explored far enough to find cobblestone, so down roughly 3 blocks. The most adventurous Minecraft stream. Right, okay. Let's refresh. Supplies of stone. Get rid of that. Oh, I just love it. Oh. At some point on this stream, I'm actually accidentally going to make 64 stone buttons just by getting overexcited about placing stone on the crafting section. Good, right, okay. We've got a lot of stone. We've got a mission. Oh, potato breakfast. I can't remember how food works in Minecraft. So, obviously an invitation for someone in chat to let me know. Which is something like, I think you're supposed to eat lots of different sorts of food rather than just having a baked potato for breakfast. But I can't really remember how it works. It's possible that my baked potato diet is just fine. Again, not a role model. A sugarcane farm. Oh gosh, I've done the noob thing, right? Of just putting all of your sugarcane, because I couldn't be bothered to do anything even slightly intelligent, so I just put it all around the edge. I've started sort of melons and pumpkins on instinct. I found the seeds and then just sort of I can't remember what they're for. I mean, it's another sort of food. Maybe that's all right. I also can't remember what the sugarcane farm is for, but I just sort of always do it on instinct. I think for paper, for maps. I haven't got maps right now. Books are important as well. Again, lots of Minecraft that I don't know. Irvin chat says a varied diet is not necessary nor recommended. You're supposed to be revising. Welcome to the stream. Right, it's a bit annoying with the trees, but the trees are atmospheric. The trees make sure that you can only see some of the Minecraft Mega Sponge at a time. For example, we've now stacked one on top of another. That makes it look like it's kind of growing up around this. I found out you can do chiseled stone brick, and like you can just make chiseled stone brick. So I might go through and replace some of it with cracked stone brick. A bit sort of weathering. Okay, so I think if I'm following my kind of pattern, I'm supposed to put one up there somewhere. And then another one there, and then on top of these two, and one in the middle, and one at the back. It's quite a lot. Quite a lot. Let me just fix one thing, sorry. That needs to go like that. Good, right, okay, we're back. We're not quite back. Not back. Minecraft. Good, okay. So I'm going to stack another Mega Sponge on top of the Mega Sponge. I think the main thing that we do on this stream these days. I should say, if people are like, oh no, this is like a terrible sort of Minecraft stream now, then it's probably going to be maths again at some point. I don't think I could succeed in making the transition to, so what I do now, just play this 15-year-old video game quite badly. I don't think I'd survive. I should probably be using the fact that 64 is 8 times 8. I should probably be using that fact more. For example, in this sort of stage, there's probably something nice about there being exactly 64 things in a layer. So if I was keeping track of how many blocks I started with, it would be in some sense easier to keep track of how many blocks I had afterwards. Because Minecraft uses stacks of 64. I don't know. Probably lots of ways to be intelligent about this. So you go, so I've got 64 on the hotbar. Well, the hotbar's not on the screen. How have I done that? My hotbar is secret, you are not allowed to know. 64 on the hotbar because I know that this layer's got 64 in. Should probably deal with that. It's not a very tidy stream. You've seen a Neutrino in chat says that they've seen someone do the opposite transition from being a Minecraft person to a maths person. You can chat them out in chat if you like. Especially if anybody would, you know, see their content instead of this nonsense. Right. What was that? That was the second one of these. It's time for the 4 corner bits. Fresh stack. So this will need 20 times 4 is 80. There you go. New policy of very carefully counting out the blocks. And I'm doing it in layers now. I don't know if this is good or quick, but maybe it helps me do things one at a time. A bit like when you're working on a large Lego set and you want to mix up how you're doing it. Also learned that there's mossy stone bricks. That's the second misclick. I think I love misclicks actually. Yeah, this is quite nice. I just sort of leave this as like a sort of castle sort of thing with these crenellations. It's a bit awkward that you can't stand here. Not the greatest castle. Put the top bit on. Close that one off. Put the top bit on. I don't know how I'm going to leave. You can get middle materials into your hotbar if you middle click. I don't know. It seems to be in the class of things that I can't do properly. Hooray. Okay. We put the 4 corners on. Oh, we can use that one as a guide now. We put those 4 on. That's time for the 8 on the top. And we'll have a manga sponge stacked on top of a manga sponge, which is the one thing that we do. Right, where's my stack of wood? Oh, what are the odds? No, not quite close enough. Middle clicking while looking at the block in front. What? Oh, that's amazing. So I look at a stone brick and think, oh yeah, I've got 64 of those, because of course I do. That's amazing. I don't need to do that anymore. I can just look. Because I've always got 64 more stone bricks. Ah, what's the worst that could happen? Yes. Oh, no. Stuck the landing, immediately walked off the edge. Welcome back to a pro Minecraft stream where we can totally say the word Minecraft. And I'm going to start tidying up after myself as well. Look, I've got to get back onto this manga sponge. Got some important manga business up there. Not my finest Minecraft moment. Does James know about F3? Yeah, I knew it would do that. I imagine that this data allows you to just dunk on me or my computer in some manner, right? What are we getting? 75% memory? Sounds bad, right? Oh look, you can find out what sort of graphics card I've got. There you go. This feels like doxing myself, or my computer maybe. Has it got FPS on here somewhere? Hey, sick. Crispy 60 FPS. It's not bad, running OBS at the same time. Cool. I think some people consider that cheating for working out where you are. So if it gets really, like, you get really lost. I don't know. Don't know if I consider it cheating or not. Maybe if I do this layer first, that's less terrifying. I build myself some bridges around first. And I don't have to lean over the edge quite so much. Yeah, okay, so Neutrino asked me to F3 and then said, is this a no F3 world? Which is a reference, I think, to the idea that some people don't do that sort of thing. Right, okay. Ah, no. That's going to take a lot of getting used to. I don't know. When you learn a new hack and you think, oh, this hack's amazing, what a life hack, and then you find you can never remember to do it. There's lots of different ways to do this bit of putting the pillars in. And then round corners like this, and then round the corners. So this kind of slice through a manga sponge is kind of weird. I've got my 4 pillars on each of the small bits, and they join together to make these kind of dash dot, dash dash dot, L shapes around the middle kind of pattern. Anyway, I think I prefer to do them one at a time. It's kind of got dark. Uah! That's one way to get home. Oh, wooden planks. The first time falling off a thing was bad enough. The second time, especially because I made a sort of old man noise as I fell, which is pretty bad as the live stream moments go. Oh, entity counters in F3. Oh, that sounds like advanced cheating. Wow. some sort of... Oh, at least the rain stopped. Good, right, okay, so we've got a mega sponge, and we're building another one on top. And I think I've just got to put the top on, and then we'll have a stack of mega sponge. The plan for this one, by the way, is that some of this scale that we're building at, one over here, one on top. The plan is that this is the gap here, and there's one kind of buried in the ground underneath us, which saves us from building that one. And I suppose the one to the left and right underground as well. It's a strategy to try and make sure that we do that. Yeah, you die. It's not that bad, especially being really near home and not playing for any stakes. Not long until it's like tall enough that I should probably worry about that sort of thing. But for now, I think we're fine. I have got a stack of ladders somewhere, and the ability to craft ladders this big. Stack of ladders somewhere. It could maybe just be a faster way up and down without having to do this sort of nonsense. I should also have brought more planks. I could craft some planks, couldn't I? I could craft planks using the key gameplay mechanic. Thing is, I'm not really that into the like mining and crafting aspect so much as the placing blocks on a square grid in 3D space. That's what I'm here for. Square blocks on a 3-dimensional grid. Yes. Acquiring and placing. These are the two verbs that I like. So I tried to bring some chickens. You can see them over there. I tried to bring some chickens to the mega sponge because I thought it'd be nice to have some sort of like free range chickens around. They're cute. They're small enough that they can go in their little gaps. But the chickens do not like the mega sponge. I don't know. They want to live. They want to live over there on the hill, which I don't blame them. Spooky fractal. I just quite like the idea of like chasing them round. Oh, they've laid eggs right in the middle of the up and down bit. Oh, crazy stuff. I thought it would add a whimsical farming simulator element to the, well, whatever this is. Okay, that's this one. So when I build this next one, there's going to be one next to this one. I'm going to take out a lot of tree, including some. Have to see. Do a chat vote on whether we try and keep the tree and build the sponge around it, or whether we lose the tree. Or maybe the middle one here is kind of third option. The middle one at the top here, the kind of arch one, is kind of broken. Yeah. So bucket of water is the better way, isn't it? But then how would I get my planks back? I wonder what my ratio of Minecraft played versus Minecraft watched on YouTube and Twitch and stuff. It's got to be. Well, kind of either way round is terrifying. Seen a lot more Minecraft content, I think. But no, I've also done a lot of stuff like this. Right, okay. I still think I like the way with stone bricks, as you look down, you can see through and it starts to look like there aren't gaps, and then you move and realise that some things that you thought were there's a sort of optical illusion element to it, that some of them you can see and some of the holes look like they're not there. Not sure about it. Sort of has the illusion of being a solid wall, but as you get close. There's a word, I think, for a fear of small holes in things. I can't remember the word, but that's a thing. So yeah, sorry, I guess I should put content warning for that. Let's build this one over. Let's build this one next, and there's some water next to this one. So I think I'll get over. Okay. Yeah. Oh no, Mary has this. Sorry, Mary. I'm going for a sort of cosmic horror thing, but not necessarily specifically of my viewers, so I think I'll do this one and then switch back to maths or something, because we are looking at 3:15. And much as I know, use the technology. I've learned a Minecraft thing today, so that's alright. Much as this, you know, moves me towards my goal of having an enormous Manga Sponge experience, I think I do want to get back to something else. What are we doing? That bit, and then corner, and then dash. Oh, what's that in the water? I saw some sort of big shark or something. It was probably a squid. Yeah, it was probably you, wasn't it? Out there living your best life. I wonder if there's a way for me to incorporate squids into the Manga Sponge experience. Be good. Be good. Right, okay, and then top layer. So, oh, why have I got exactly one? Because I've missed that one. There you go. Oh, the stack. Stack of 64. What a good system. Oh, and I have to show chat something. Show chat something funny. You can bring a water bucket with you to travel up and down. How do you use a water bucket to travel upwards? So you redeemed highlight my message because you've realised that it's harder for me to look at chat when I'm also looking at Minecraft. Maybe this is how they do it. Above your head. Sounds like a sort of hilarious prank. Oh, do you have to keep replacing it? I can sort of see that you'll put the bucket up. It'll make a kind of waterfall. I guess you've got to keep grabbing it, and Minecraft streamers don't like backseating. I think it is true that everyone in chat is better at Minecraft than me, with the possible exception of, was it Mary, who said they've never played Minecraft. No, you see, I've learnt my technology of not going into the menus, but can't retain the lesson. Do I do this next? No, only 4. That is misclicks 3 through to 9. Okay, let's just finish off this bit. Get it to a state where I can show you something funny. Maybe do some counting. Because we did all that planning and then came out of the planning session and realised that I've not achieved 1% of 1% of the thing that I was planning, which maybe makes the plan look a bit stupid to have an idea about what you're going to do in about step 27. I'm going to try this bucket of water to climb up a mountain thing. I sort of worry with the buckets of water that it'll also wash away all my chickens. I guess the chickens have gone for the high ground, so they're safe now. But yeah, I think you can create some chaos by chucking water around. Oh no, I've done this weirdly. Yeah, I've sort of snookered myself. I've built myself a balcony, and I'm on the balcony. I could do jump across. My stack of planks is over there somewhere. I want to just get on my stack of planks. Oh, yeah, look, I'll do it safely. There we go. Goodbye, planks. Stack of planks. Okay, so we're going to do a layer at the top. Layer at the top of 64. And then a bunch of columns, and then 64, and then some Manga Sponge. I could do these much faster than I thought. I thought these would take much longer to do. But we've done what? We did that one? Almost. We did almost entirely that one. We've done that one. Now we're doing this one. Chat efficiency. Good stuff. How is this going? Oh, it's going to be nighttime. That is misclick number 10. Right. I reckon I can make it to the water. Hey. Easy. Should have done the spin. Competitive diving. People who've played Minecraft probably better than this. Right, good. Okay. I hope the objective's clear at least. Got a load of bricks, building a big brick thing. It's complicated math stuff. Let's try the ladders. I will find a way of getting around this thing. In the junk folder. No, more ladders. Let's just build a stack of ladders. And then like this. Like this. Is this going to be a stack of ladders or 18 ladders? That actually sounds like about the right number. Oh, maybe I'll try the water bucket thing. I think this is one Neutrino was suggesting. Right, I want to get up there. So I go water bucket. Yeah, this is not the easiest thing to do that I've ever done. But not terrible. Okay. I've made a mess. I've not even made that much mess. At some point I should do a video about fluid dynamics of Minecraft. Bye! Don't worry about divergence on your way down. Yeah. Presumably it's got enormous viscosity or something, which is why it hangs around for so long, falls so slowly. Right, good. See, I think that's reckless though, because they're just going to stay there and kind of mess the place up. And I want to go get my ladders back. Ah! Okay, forget the ladders. They're made of sticks. We've got sticks. Got sticks at home. Right, this, and then that. And I've missed a bit here. Good. That is a ring of those. And then I put some pillars on it using this technology. Fluids in Minecraft are so weird. In the kind of obvious sense that they don't conserve mass. But I feel like you could. There's other weird stuff going on as well. So fluids in Minecraft don't do any sort of internal pressure to equalize. Like if you have water that's exposed to the surface in two different places, it should probably equalize out to, you know, due to the internal pressure gradients, which is something that Terraria, or Terraria, never really know, does quite well. Like they've got an attempt at doing that sort of thing that I think volume might be even kind of conserved in Terraria. That you have like a volume of water and it rolls downhill and you can collect it all up again at the bottom of the hill, and that's the same amount that you had at the top, which sounds pretty basic, but you just saw the column of water in Minecraft. So maybe that's the video, and presumably somebody else has already done this, so I should just watch the video. There's something like fluid dynamics in Terraria and Minecraft. Yeah, somebody must have done this. There's loads of fluid dynamics YouTube of people. The ladders go on the outside, yeah. Okay, so there's this one, and you can already see where I want to put another one over there. Oh, it's going to be so good with the trees. This tree, perfect. A+. Which is where I need it. This tree, not sure. Ideally it would be growing, I'm going to move the whole tree, but it'd be growing kind of through the gaps. Might do that one very carefully. Okay, let's take down the planks, and I'll show you something mildly amusing. I think that's the best I can offer. I want my ladders back. My ladders back. Yeah, ladders. So I've started trying to hollow out a mountain, which is not a thing I've done before. Ugh. Mountain's pretty big. Because what I'm trying to do is have it so that, yeah, this is good. There's one on the top as well. So you think, oh my goodness, what's this? You walk through the branches, there's top bits coming through here as well, through the trees. You get to this bit, and then all of that is copied again. Yeah, okay. All of that's copied again to get you to do some counting. I did advertise counting. All of that's copied again to get you to this mountain face. The idea is that it repeats inside there. So what are we looking at? 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9-ish, and then 9. Yeah, okay. So the second one gets you into the mountain, and then at some point, not too far into the mountain, I guess. Maybe there's a third one. Woomph, enormous. Maybe enormous void with Manga Sponge around it, indicating that you've reached some huge void of the Manga Sponge. So I want this to be, at the moment, this is a sort of mid-sized tunnel, hollow out mountains. Started hollowing stuff out. The funny thing is that as I was hollowing out the mountain, I found that Minecraft had already done that for me with this kind of enormous void, which is kind of the effect I wanted. So this is maybe good news. I can just sort of hollow out to here, and then have all of this inky darkness of space as part of the Manga Sponge. So I think a lot of my mission when I get to the mountain bit is going to be replacing some of this with Manga Sponge. But that's what I was saying, it's got all Minecraft these days, it's all got grass and flowers and stuff downstairs. In the underground downstairs. So that's pretty good. Slightly better tools might be good for digging this. Would I change the texture of the sponges? That's a good question. So at the moment the stone brick, maybe it could be stone brick on the entrance and then something else on the inside in the darkness. That was an interesting question. Hadn't considered it. Maybe a darker material? There's two ways to think about that, right? Either in terms of the lore, which is, I guess, when the Manga Sponge was constructed, was the mountain there or not? Maybe it was both. Maybe it was there at the same time as the mountain, and it's sort of natural and changes texture because it's inside the mountain, made of mountain stuff. What am I saying has happened here? Has somebody just sort of taken the rock and carved it out of the rock, or is it inserted into the world? Is this going to look a bit stupid? Because this, I'm worried this might look a bit daft. This trunk is going to go up and then hit Manga Sponge before it's got any leaves. I might need to edit the tree a bit. Okay, that is where we're going. I'm going to try and build a huge Manga Sponge out here, then a second one, and then some sort of like mountain. Wow! Inside, which will probably take me years. And then you're only 5% done, because once you've built one Manga Sponge, you want to build 19 more Manga Sponges. Do you know how to improve your enchantment table with bookshelves? Yeah, I am aware. I haven't got a cow farm yet. I've got the sugarcane ready. I haven't got the cows ready yet. I found one cow, which one cow is enough for enchanting table. But yeah, I've got the levels, got the sugarcane. I need a lot of cows because you need, was it 3 cows or was it 3 leather somehow? 3 leather for a bookcase, and you want, I used to know this, is it 15 bookcases? Something like that. And you build mirroring, but then you try to take the middle. But for now, I just dumped everything. I just dumped everything where it is, including my incredible stack of furnaces. vaguely where you can do something with hoppers. I think I've done it before, or like the thing where it feeds in automatically. You can build kind of cool stuff to link everything together. Right, I think that is where I've got to. We've stacked some Manga Sponges on top of our existing Manga Sponges. And if you didn't like the stressful bridging experience of building one hanging on top of a void, I've got to do all of that on a bigger scale to put one in here. And then, I guess, like 3 more of those. I didn't mean an item sorter, I meant a kind of item... I've got a lot of rock to put into the furnaces, and ideally you can do something where it, like, you have a chest above and it feeds into the furnace, and also maybe pulls rock out the other side as well. Got a lot of cobblestone. Of course, all of that's much better if you find Silk Touch. I haven't got Silk Touch yet, so maybe I should do the enchanting table. So maybe it's cows. Cows, enchanting, get Silk Touch, mine lots of rock. Good. Okay, right. Let's call it there on Minecraft, partly so that Herb can go and get some revision done. And I think we're going to switch back. There we go. Put chat back on. There you go. 1 leather, 3 paper. Explaining to me how to make books. I made 1 book. I did do 1 book. Yeah, bad luck, Herb. I've got your best interests at heart. Okay, what were we doing there? We were working on this bit here, which looks futile given the scale of the implied Manga Sponge. But that's the kind of joke that you build 2 of them, and then you hit this big void, which implies roughly 400 others. The implied void. No, that's not what people say. Mary says that Herb can stay. Hopper above, that's the word. Hopper. Did I say hopper? I'm going to pretend I said hopper. Item technology. Okay, so there's this thing that somebody mentioned a couple of weeks ago because it was because it's in that same Minecraft snapshot called Langton's Ant that I wanted to quickly do some stuff on because I found this online demo. I'll put the link address in here if you want it in chat. Langton's Ant has got these really simple rules. Is this going to do what I want? Yeah. Okay. So not shown in the picture. There's a little ant. It's a little guy. He's got a position and a direction, and the rule that he follows is if he's standing on a white square, he turns 90 degrees right and then steps forward, flips that white square to a black square as he leaves. If he's standing on a black square, he turns 90 degrees left, takes a step forwards, but flips the black square to a white square as he leaves. So the black and white squares kind of give him his instructions for whether to turn left or right, but also he's changing them as he goes. The rules down here say which way he's turning. So when he sees a white square, he turns right. When he sees a black square, he turns left. And the result is mad. This is Langton's Ant. The patterns that are being developed are sort of chaotic and incredibly hard to describe. So this has been running for about 9,000 iterations at this point to just draw more and more stuff. And sort of sometimes it builds that little, there's this little shuffle over here which feels like an ant kind of digging and building something new. And then the best bit is at about 10,000. At about 10,000, he gets stuck in a loop. And then that continues forever. So Langton's Ant is just a series of behaviours for this ant. Starting on a white grid. If he's on a white square, he turns right, flips the square, takes a step. If he's on a black square, he turns left, flips the square and takes a step forwards. And the behaviour is really weird. That starts off straightforward and then really chaotic, and then settles down into this kind of it's called a highway. This thing that builds in that direction. and I think this is somehow generic. I was trying to read the Wikipedia article on this. Let's have a look at that. It's the only thing I've really read on this. Because one of you mentioned Langton's ant on the stream a few weeks ago, so I had to go and look it up. Yeah, so this, but that one's rotated. It does look like an anteater. There he goes. There's this open problem. Where is it? All finite initial configurations tested eventually converge to the same repetitive pattern. I'm suggesting that the highway is a tractor, and that's one of those terrifying blue links where you just know if you hit this one, then never coming back, right? The mathematical field of dynamical systems. I've done one course on dynamical systems. A tractor is the self-stable. Yeah, okay, fine, good. How on earth would you prove this? What would you do? Also, what's going on in this picture? You know, we're just never coming back if we click that blue link. It's like the edge of the mega sponge. You don't walk over it. Good. But then it is known that the Ant trajectory is always unbounded, regardless of the initial configuration. That is surprising because you'd feel like it could get stuck in a loop locally, but apparently no. Keep going out. So this says that it's a construction that calculates any Boolean circuit. So that seems a bit like it's doing arbitrary calculations, which makes me quite nervous that we could know anything about this. Anyway, there's extensions where you give it more rules. So let's reset. Let's add a rule that if it sees a pink square, it should go left. And the rule for changing colour is now, instead of just flipping the colours, it'll go white to black, change black to pink, and change pink to white. For stream reasons, I'm going to change this to match our colour scheme. Okay, pink is close enough. Okay, so now I can do this thing where he changes white squares to blue squares to pink squares back to white squares. And I suppose the question is he going to settle down into some sort of highway pattern, or is he going to keep doing new and different things forever? Which feels quite a lot like the halting problem. Like it feels like the sort of thing that I couldn't possibly know, right? I'm not saying it is, just saying I've heard the questions like this before. Does this thing settle down into a loop, or does it eventually kind of do the stable behaviour? Feels like you could ask it to print the word stop if it hit some sort of repetitive highway behaviour. Also, what sort of repetitive highway behaviour am I looking for? Does it know if it's building a highway? How would you test for that? It's one of these ideas about how you detect whether your program is going to stop in any sense. I don't know, it just feels like that sort of problem. There's an abstract commentary over the top of whatever this one is drawing. It would also be nice if you could change the rule set so that it, I don't know, spelt a message or something. That'd be fun. Almost look like it drawn a picture there. Humans are so good at finding patterns. You can do all of this sort of crazy nonsense, and you can still look at it. Someone will chat and tell me it looks like a koala doing a handstand or something. Oh man, then we're all good. So this one's been running for longer, for about 14,000 iterations, and it hasn't settled down yet, but that's not proof. If you know the Collatz conjecture, the Collatz conjecture says you do the same sort of calculation again and again and again, and it's a pretty simple calculation. If your number's even, halve it. If it's odd, do 3 times that number plus 1. And that's a pretty simple calculation to do. The question is, no matter your starting conditions, do you always end up with the number 1? And that also feels a bit like this kind of, are you eventually going to settle down? Because of the 3x plus 1, the numbers can get quite large. So how will you know? Maybe they'll get larger for a long time and then settle down afterwards. So this one's now been running twice as long, 20,000, and it's still quite small. It hasn't started a highway yet. I don't think. There's a whole class of these. The Wikipedia page explains more about different rule sets where you can have like more colours. I think there are YouTube videos if you want to see crazy versions with sort of 10 colours and emergent behaviour that you get for certain rule sets. While this one's running, I'm going to have a quick look at some of those. So some of these, yeah, this is a version with lots and lots of colours. The sequence here is the rules for each colour in sequence, and it draws a large triangle. So that's nice. Looked like it took quite a long time and did a lot of messing around first, so that's a bit unusual. But then that's a bit like, I've seen cool stuff in Conway's Game of Life, which, I mean, Conway's Game of Life has everything, right? So, but people have put a lot of effort into making Conway's Game of Life. Patterns and things that build stuff. This one's colouring in a large triangle. Not an equilateral triangle. Large triangle. What's our one doing? Not a lot. I'm just going to keep that running, I think. So I think someone suggested that this is also in the Minecraft snapshot April Fool's thing from 2020. A version of this, but I looked it up. You get to watch this happen inside Minecraft. Sounds about the same as watching it happen inside my web browser, to be honest. There it goes. So it's got the option to have boundaries that wrap together, which I don't know if I want that or not, because I thought I wanted to run off on a highway or something to, you know, make its escape. And it's just drawing more and more kind of wiggly brain structures. So I was surprised. Until one of you told me about this a few weeks ago, I don't think I'd heard of this before. And it's really simple and feels quite organic and has the same behaviour. Sort of thing I'm interested in. Emergent behaviour from simple rules. I could watch this forever. Right, good. What else is going on? Wikipedia's got some good ones. Is this yeah, so people have done this on hex grid as well, where your rules might be, do you turn 60 degrees or 120 degrees left when you turn left? This one's amazing because it draws a sort of spiralling. Is it fractal-like? Am I allowed to say that? No, I think it's just a big spiral. But still. Yeah, not a fractal, just a spiral. I think. Well, it's got these small chunks and then these larger bits. I think it might be. Anyway. Something to ask about there, I think. Is that self-similar spiral or something else? There's all sorts of stuff going on like this. I like the idea of doing it on a hex lattice because then it's sort of B or something. How's this going? Not very well. Well, I mean, still doing all sorts of stuff. Who knows, maybe we'll flip back in a second and it'll have spelt its own name or something. I don't know. I am Langton's aunt. Written out all of Hamlet. There's a word for that where something prints its own name. What am I thinking of, chat? Where something like you might have seen somebody found a function which, when you plot the function, gives the function itself. There's a name for that kind of thing. I'll try and look it up in a second, but yeah, simplicity, chaos, emergent order. There you go, lovely stuff. No, okay. What was I looking for? Because I thought I'd seen some more stuff. Well, I've seen some more constructor stuff. Oh yeah, I saw these. What's this one then? Okay, so then you can make it a Turing machine. That way you can move it around. And it keeps track of different states. And at that point it starts doing computations and Fibonacci spirals and things, and I'm sort of not that surprised because now it's a Turing machine. Is it Quine that I'm thinking of? Yeah, sort of. So Quine. Wine is a computer program that takes no input and produces a copy of its own source code as the only output. Wikipedia. Named after Willem van Orman Quine. Thank you, Wikipedia. What does Twitch chat say? Tupper's self-referential formula. Is that the one? Yeah, that's the one. Thank you. Which is amazing. It's got, in some sense, where are we going to put this? So it's got a formula of this is an inequality. I should probably do something with this, right? Really want to know what's going on, right? Because it's, why is there so much 17? Is that like the width of it or something? Oh gosh. Derivation of K. Anyway, so it's got this like pixel chart of what's going on, which is kind of amazing. Graphing the set of points satisfy the formula. So it's integer points or something. Where does the K appear? Oh, K is where you've got to look. So does it do lots of other stuff everywhere else, but has this subset that looks like this? Maybe. I'm confused. Is the K something like... So is this sort of weird hash problem? No, what's going on? I don't know. Something for me to read about at some other point, I think. I don't quite understand where the big number K is, because that feels like... One more look. Let K be this number, which is not in the plot. This is where you have to look. You have to look over there. So I don't... This was like part of the source code that's not in the image. So can I do something like this where my equation is just sort of some pseudo-random thing, which will eventually give me all possible combinations in infinity of space, all possible combinations of black and white pixels in some region. The region I've chosen to be large enough to plausibly contain the instruction. Well, it's pseudo-random stuff. Maybe that's what the function is. The function is just kind of pseudo-random. And then loads of search, loads of computer search to just try and find the bit that looks like happens to get all the pixels right. No, it must be cleverer than that, right? I don't want to say random dots because that would be different if you regenerated the random numbers. So it feels a bit sort of different. But if you had something that was effectively random, then I guess somewhere it would have its source code out there in the plot. But I think Tupper's self-referential formula thing is more clever than that. I mean, not least because they actually know where to look to find the bit of the bit that looks like the equation, and it does look exactly like the equation. I'm still impressed. Right, Matanesh says you can't see it in Desmos because it relies on looking over there with these enormous numbers, such that everything just works out. Oh, no, hang on. So chat asks, how could you calculate this? Is it something like this number has got to somehow encode this particular number somehow encodes just these pixels, which is why there's all the mod 17s, because it's a 17 pixel tall image. There's a bit of a loop there. So how would you invent this? Why is it 17? So maybe you tried a few versions of this, but you'd want something where... So this mod, right, okay. So this is sort of pseudo-random, I think. I'm going to use pseudo-random very loosely. This mod 2, has got some sort of probability, I'm going to say, because I don't understand the stuff inside this bit. I love that. I'm pointing at the graph to tell you which bit of the function I mean. I don't understand this bit of the function. So I would say this mod thing, you know, maybe it's less than 1/2 or maybe not. With some sort of probability. Which is the really stupid version of probability where you say, I don't know, therefore 50-50. But no, I don't mean 50-50, do I? Mod 2. Mod 2 of this expression. 2 to the minus. Oh, I just can't bother to pass this. This 4 of y over 17. Mod 2, so it's going to return something between 0 and 2. This feels like probability 1/4. Okay. And then somehow for the x and y coordinates. So you just make x. There's y values in here and upstairs in the exponent. So as you change y, mod y17 is the only thing that matters, which is the thing you want to control. As you change that through those 17 pixels, you sometimes want this to be 1 or 0. So you can just control that just by making sure that the value of y over 17. I'm going to choose that to be just... I don't know. It feels to me like the sequence is that you decide the formula to be something that plausibly could contain its image by just being quite really complicated, and the way it's been built is to have some way where you can take the information of which pixels you want to be 1 and 0 and exactly convert that into a maths problem to work out, well, if you want this function to be 1s and 0s for these particular inputs of x and y mod 17, then that'll happen eventually, provided you solve these linear equations. Well, not linear equations, maybe, but solve all these equations for, you just need the right, what do you need? I don't know how it works. I think my guess is that as well as containing a plot of its own formula, it also contains a plot of any other formula, but 17 blocks tall, and also loads of other stuff. Yeah, maybe that's a challenge then. That as well as containing this text, I reckon if you just look somewhere else, it contains different text. You have to solve different equations that make sure that different pixels are on. Yeah, this sort of paragraph is the bit I should... The value of k is the number whose binary digits form the plot. There you go. Okay, so this is this kind of thing, right? You want to see a plot, you see this. Okay, right, there you go. And people have found other stuff on different values of k? Yeah. Right. Both text distortion due to the effects of binary addition. Right, okay, so people have gone to look for other text by converting it to binary, and then... Okay, so I think you can find arbitrary text in the graph of this function, and it's doing some clever translation where all the 17s are just because it's 17 tall, and the 2s are because it's doing something clever with binary. Okay, this is an encoder for all text, so that's how you would do it then. You'd find a thing that contains all binary sequences in a kind of predictable way. I still don't understand how it's doing it. Like, how is this? What's the relationship between the kind of like binary string? I just say K as the monochrome bit image of the formula treated as a binary number and multiplied by 17. The next 17 least significant bits encode the second rightmost column. Oh goodness. Okay, so it's an encoding sort of thing. I can do other stuff. Good, right. This done a thing's going to hit 100k at some point. I think this currently, with the rules that we've got, I think it's set to just stop when it gets to the edge. So that's what the previous one did. This one doesn't seem to be generating anything at all, but not a proof. Maybe your computer can calculate this much faster. It's found that after 3 million or something, it forms an enormous pentagon that it keeps drawing forever. Who knows? Stranger things have happened. Strange Loop is the name of a play by Marcus du Sautoy. Marcus du Sautoy works at Oxford. Ah, that's the word I was thinking of. Right, good. Okay. Yeah, I thought I'd read about this in Go Leisure Park. I don't know if chat is aware of this book. It's from 1979, so maybe that makes it a bit hard to find these days. There was a copy of it being passed around maths camp when I went on maths camp. It's a very strange book, but it has a lot of stuff like this, and lots of kind of conversations backwards and forwards. A metaphorical fugue on minds and machines, kind of in the spirit of Lewis Carroll. Yeah, okay. I know it's not. I'm reading them. Yeah, okay. It's got lots of maths. Despite the success of the book, Hofstadter felt the audiences did not adequately grasp what he felt was the main idea: strange loops. So back to Strange Loop. Good. This is still going. You heard about it in a video about weird books, not in the maths context. It's definitely a maths book. In the sense that it's packed full of weird scenarios about what are they called? Like dialogues of characters talking about paradoxes, but the dialogue is also a paradox in the same way, or something, or like the Menga sponge, right? Having different stuff on different levels, but it's all very, very clever. I think criticism is maybe that it's too clever. Too clever for me, anyway. Right, good. Don't at me. Definitely a maths book. I think this Langton hat. And all we did was we changed one rule. Well, we added a third rule. And it's doing all sorts. I'm going to wait for it to get to the edge, at which point this simulation of Langton's Land will terminate. Oh, I really wanted to just form a little highway down the bottom left. Should be doing like Twitch bets on this, shouldn't we? To say, will it go left, or will it get to the left corner or the bottom right corner next? Which way is it going to go? It's a quick reminder of just what this is. This is Langton's Ant, which is following very, very simple rules. There's a tiny ant that you can't see. It's just made it to the edge. There's a tiny ant which you can't see, which takes a step forwards, looks at the colour of the cell it's stepped into, and changes direction based on what it sees, but also changes the colour of that square. So the colours are its trail and its rules for future and future motion if it gets back to that place. And we've just seen it bumble around for 94,000 steps until it eventually got to the edge. R.I.P. Ant. Ant 0 brackets dead. Good. Not bad. Pretty weird decoration to tile your wall with that. People will not understand what you've done. You just have Langton's Ant after 94,182 iterations. With rule set right, left, left. Good. Okay. I think does right, left, right do something fun? I can't remember. We'll just change that. Reset. I can't remember if this one does something different or more fun. It was almost symmetric at the start there, but it tends to break its own symmetry by having these rules about turning in a way that I can't quite piece together. Why is it not just symmetric? Why is it so keen to break symmetry? I guess because I thought, even with the initial rule set of right-left, where you feel like it's sort of equally likely to do either, I guess it starts on a really asymmetric everything is a white square to start off with. So do I think if you started it on a chessboard, it has to start somewhere. So maybe you could do something else. Welcome back to Twitch, where we're just watching Langton's Ant do its thing. And its thing is everything. Because apparently this can do maybe arbitrary binary instructions if you code the rules just right and you give it really detailed initial conditions. I quite like that, the idea the ant bumbles around, eventually discovers all of the inputs, does lots more stuff, and then eventually gives you the output to, I think they said somewhere, binary. What was the phrase on Wikipedia that I should go and look up? Gajardo et al. Showed a construction that calculates any Boolean circuit using the trajectory of a single ant in the journal Discrete Applied Maths in the year 2002. Let's have a look at that. We'll keep running that. Engaging content. Construction to calculate any Boolean circuit with the trajectory of a single ant. This proves the p-hardness of the system and implies the universality of the ant and the undecidability of some problems associated to it. There you go. I don't know if this is just open access, but I mean it's 2002, so maybe just by time. Yeah, this looks quite nice. Okay, I'm going to recommend this. I found this on Wikipedia. If you like computer science and gates and stuff, maybe this makes more sense to you. Ooh, entrance highway direction. Ooh. Oh no. Wait, does this use a sort of map system of knowing that it's going to build a highway and sending it in and slightly adjusting which direction the highway is? That would be great. Oh, I think it does. Look at these diagrams. It comes in and it leaves at the... Oh my goodness. Okay, so you can do... Oh my goodness. You can do some logic about how it's going to do on a larger scale that highway behavior we saw. Maybe that's what's going on. Yeah, okay. Recommended reading for people who care about computability, hardness of problems. I hope you can get access to that. I just clicked on reference 2 on the Wikipedia page for Langton's Ant. Hope you can get that as well. That would be very good. It reminds me of something I've never understood because I've never tried. Not because... never tried. Which is the Joel Hampkins chess puzzles or something. I think I'd need to know quite a lot more about infinite chess. But there's this Latin philosophy professor who was at Oxford, who's written lots of interesting things about chess, including infinite chess. Let's see if I can find the infinite chess things. How's the ant doing? Oh, the ant's reached the edge without creating anything. Racing along the way. I think C continues straight. Okay, so 4-color ant. So Joel's got this thing about chess. Let's see if I can find it. That reminds me of this. Yeah, okay, so this is the paper I would quite like to understand. It's called A Position in Infinite Chess with Game Value Omega to the 4, which is maybe the largest known at the time. I don't understand anything that's going on, but it involves loads of ordinals and really complicated chess positions. It's infinite chess, so the positions are really, really complicated. Like this, with sort of arbitrary numbers of pieces. And there's this bit here, the king is sort of protected in this little side castle thing, which I don't understand at all. There's so many pawns. And yes. Neutrino's seen a video about infinite chess on Minecraft and Minecraft at the same time to bring us around again. Is this the paper that says something like gateway terminals? Yeah, they've got terminology for all of this stuff. Black to play. 3 principal components. The rook tower block in the upper right. Sure. The throne room at the upper left, where the 2 kings sit facing each other in uneasy, if ultimately temporary detente, and the bishop cannon battery arrangements are just consisting of bishop cannons at the lower right and gateway terminals at the lower left. So they're sort of building on existing terminology, but it's just so good. With 1 cannon of each finite size, so I guess are these slightly larger as they go down or something? Okay. The gateway terminals continue with 1 wing of finite, I guess, these entry things. In large scale, during optimal play, what will happen is that white will make slow but steady progress in the rook tower arrangement in the upper right, just as in some other paper. The focus of play moving from an initial active tower and then continuing successfully to the adjacent towers to the left. Oh my goodness, are these towers over here or something? Oh my goodness. Right, okay, and there's some analysis of it. And I think I'd have to know quite a lot about chess and quite a lot about ordinals to work out what was going on there. But there's something rather beautiful about the design just having, like, there's the throne room, there's the bishop cannons, 1 for each number. It's just fantastic stuff. Really good. Okay, so we've added another rule to Langton's Ant, and I'm not certain about this shade of green, was I think my main takeaway from this version as it runs around. So there's something about predictability here. I'm trying to retool a maths talk where I'm probably going to show you this to people on school visits. Some version of this, maybe not with this rule set because this just kind of looks like a mess. I'm trying to retool an existing talk, which I think I've done on this stream and probably on the work stream as well. My sort of repetition and chaos talk, which I've been doing in schools for years now. I'm going to try and retool it into more of a kind of predictability, unpredictability session on that sort of thing. Can you tell what's going to happen in the future? And I think there's space there for some more visual examples and some more discussion about what makes things predictable or unpredictable. Because I've realised that when I go into a school and I talk about how I thought that maths let us predict what was going to happen, to say, well, there's going to be a pattern and it'll settle down and that'll happen. And then I was surprised to learn at university that actually there's pretty simple systems that don't settle down and that are unpredictable and are weird. What I've discovered is that lots of people maybe don't have that view of maths at all. The idea that maths is predictive, or that there's a kind of science to it of trying to understand what happens next. That kind of worldview isn't shared by everyone, so I should talk about that instead. For a lot of people, especially younger age groups, maths is just a whole bunch of calculations that you do. So it's predictable in the sense that whether or not I'm going to get the right answer to this, which is not that interesting really. Whereas I'd like to talk a lot more about how when they do physics, they learn Newton's laws, which are supposed to tell them what happens next. You've got some, I don't know, mass and pulleys and springs and stuff. And Newton's rules is a kind of guideline to what happens next. there's a barrier to actually try and solve them and work out the consequences of Newton's laws for what happens next. That's the kind of worldview that you know where stuff is, you know the rules, you know what will happen next. And I managed to get all the way through university before realising that this is just sort of incoherent, even on its own, even before you think about quantum or special relativity or anything. Because here's many examples of things where you know the current position, you know all the rule set down there on the left. I mean, it's just almost impossible to work out what's going to happen next. Just a matter of the consequences of that. So I think there's space for a kind of school talk where you talk about expectations about whether or not we can solve problems, even given all the information. Got to be careful though, because at school people can solve all the problems given all the information. They're given enough information and they solve the problem. So it's kind of like got to sell things short. Finding what would happen under a certain set of rules. Yeah. Finding what would happen under a certain set of rules. And you see like the Collatz conjecture or something. That's once hit the edge of the box without forming any interesting highways. I'll go back to the highway again, I think. Just back to the highway just to see it do that again. It starts off really limited, almost symmetric, and then it does that. I'd quite like to know whether it turns left more often than right. I suppose it sort of has the term right quite a lot because of all the existing white space that it moves into. Anyway, the sort of a step of knowing the rules, and finding out what happens. The finding out is sort of a separate challenge. Yeah, the ant is finding out what happens with the really simple rule set of turn right on white squares, turn left on black squares, flip the square as you leave, please. On a square grid. There's problems just say basically like the Collatz conjecture, where it really feels like we should understand that rule set, but repeatedly doing the same iteration. Maybe maths of iteration is just, this is a thing doing the same thing again and again and again, iterating away. There it goes. Wikipedia told me that always happens. I should look into that. I think I would quite like to build some of this highway bit. I think be a fun thing to build in Minecraft. Just like having 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11 blocks. 11 blocks on a diagonal across. So just be a nice size, and you put the pattern on it, and then it's a diagonal bridge. So go for it, yeah, 45 degrees. That'd be nice. Okay. What else am I supposed to be doing? That's chill maths, isn't it? We don't have to do things. Just do Langton's ant. That's something odd. Ooh. Okay, so this is going to start. Okay, I can change where it starts. And then I'll do 2. Okay, and that one's going to die almost immediately when it hits the side. Okay, I guess the dream here is that they interact because they'll meet each other's trails. And then I don't really know what happens after that. If they hit the same square as each other but facing the same way. So at the moment they're doing the same thing, but they started facing in different directions. So they're drawing the same pattern as each other. They haven't met each other yet. They're doing the same thing but rotated by 90 degrees. And I might have put them too far apart. Oh, that one on the left. No. Watch out for the edge. Okay, I should wrap. I'm going to pretend on wrap. Something again. Actually, I have them facing the same way. And get a bit more offset. There we go. Okay, but wrapping around the edges. Yeah, I felt sorry for them. Okay, so they'll do the same thing to start off with, but then eventually they'll end up in the same place or end up overlapping patterns, I guess. So that one on the top left is getting closer and closer to the on the right, and now the right one is getting a little bit closer. And then it'll become one large pattern. That'll obviously be even messier. I suppose you could do something with this where if you could predict how the arrival of a new ant messes up a previous one, use some sort of signalling. Almost there, not quite. Yeah, there they go. Okay, so now they're doing one pattern because the bottom right ant has just found the pattern over there. I like the way they don't need to draw the ants, you can tell by the action of where the ants are. Now they're working together on something. It remains to be seen whether they can build something together. One of them has just dipped a toe off the edge since it's come through on the right hand side. But then it's turned left and left that. And I'm not really convinced this is going to build anything. Especially with the wrap edges on, because it hasn't got space to build the highway. Did they just separate? Are they tidying up? Have they turned round and gone back again? They've turned round and gone back again, and on the way back, you flip it and you turn the other way. That's brilliant. They're tidying up. What happens when they get back to the middle? They start doing it the other way around, don't they? They're going to tidy up. Then they're going to start again, but facing the other way now. Which means that eventually they'll meet again. And in 18,000 steps they'll get back again, I reckon. They're the other way up, so it's going to look a bit different. But I think they're going to do it again. Okay, come on, Langton's ant. I think I just said out loud it's not going to do anything, right? That seems so unlikely that they could turn each other. They both turned round. I think they're now in a. They've got to now be in a loop, right? Okay, it's upside down, but it's now going to be a loop. It's just a bit where I was shouting at them to see if they would get close enough together or not. And then, yeah, because now that one's found this one. It's going to go and interact and change all the squares behind it, and they're both hovering around like mad now, affecting each other's paths. But what we saw before was that somehow, randomly, madly, they ended up undoing. So they both got turned round. Should be sort of 18k, 9k about now, I guess. Yeah, they're now undoing. They're going back in. They've separated again. They've turned around and they're going back in. And we're going to hit about 36k. When the iterations hit about 36k, they'll be back at the start points. But this time, facing the correct directions again, ready to start for the full period. Time to start again. I don't know how generic this is. I think so. If I shifted them both. They've slightly come on the loop here. If I shifted them both to the right by about 10 pixels, then they could do this without the wrapping. They would just be no wrapping, just the sort of death boundaries, but they wouldn't hit them. And they would just keep doing this. And then off they go again. And that's how they started. That's lovely. So shift of 12 and 13 units. That's brilliant. And now they're just doing something you've already seen. And the same way up you've already seen it. I've no idea if that generally happens. I genuinely don't know if we've got lucky or if this is something that always happens. Doesn't really feel like the sort of thing that people could possibly prove. So I'm going to assume that this is very special behaviour. You saw it here first. Interaction, conspiracy, and they both turn around. there's that little bit, you've seen that before, where one just stuck a foot over but then turned left. I'm going to repeat my commentary as well. Murray wants to believe we were lucky. That's so good. I want to see them do it one more time. I think they're currently undoing. Yeah. And then they're in parallel. Oh, that's so good. Ooh, they might not have turned round. They might have swapped. That's maybe more likely, isn't it? If one, and that sounds quite likely then, hang on. Because if one gets onto the path of the, where one of them's previously been? No. One of them gets, because the other one's currently there, at the opposite point. Where the other one's previously been, what about all the stuff that's happened since? If they hit the same square, but travelling in opposite directions, then they don't turn around, they pass through each other and start undoing the other one's trail? Maybe that's a more accurate description. Swapped because they got to the same square, which does seem like the sort of thing that should happen after a while. And then mumble by symmetry, they're facing in opposite directions when they meet. And then they're undoing each other's work from there. Yeah, okay, so it's a question whether, as they're conspiring and interacting, if they hit the same square, then probably they start undoing stuff. And I don't actually know how the rule set handles that. Does it flip the square twice? I hope it flips the square twice. Each ant gets a chance to flip that square. See if we can see it happen. I don't think that's alright. Got to say when it's happening as well. Two ants in exactly the same square, facing in opposite directions, and then they start undoing everything. Have they already started undoing everything? No. They're still together. Oh no, they were undoing, because now they're going backwards. It's very hard to tell what they're doing. Right, okay. I think I'm going to wrap up the stream. We've seen something really weird happen in Langton's Ant. I think we've understood what's going on. We had that Tupper's formula that prints its own code, but sadly, we think also prints all other text of height 17. And quick book recommendation. My homework is probably to learn chess and ordinals or something, so I can actually do something with that. Maybe I'll try and find that paper or YouTube video with Minecraft that Eutrainer recommended. Nailed it. Yeah, good. Okay. Right. Any other recommendations? If people want to share maths recommendations with each other or with me, I've got a couple that I'm going to try and find out more about. So actually, this is the one I want to understand, I think. This kind of crossings, junctions and paths. Somebody building like binary circuits with the ants. I think just one ant going off in crazy different directions to go and influence other bits of space. Yeah, Trino would recommend a YouTube video, but we'll never find it. Hang on, let's just look for Infinite Chess Minecraft video. No, that's not gone well. No, that search is not one of my greatest searches. Good. Okay, I'm gonna wrap up the stream. Have a good Sunday afternoon. Just searching for Minecraft in general is a terrible idea. People have made loads of Minecraft rubbish, and now so have I. Somebody will want to find out something about Manga Sponges. I'll put it in YouTube or Twitch search or something. Ruining everyone's search results with my chill maths nonsense. Thanks for watching. I'll see you maybe next week. Might take a week off. Might see some people from Matt live stream, although I guess we've kind of handed over to people who are getting ready for Matt next year. So I think it's a totally different bunch of people. Maybe they're here too. Who knows? Everyone all at once. Have a good week. I will see ye around sometime. Right. Okay. Yes.